Welcome to the Guild Tacticians. If you're a focused learner trying to maximize your exam performance and climb into those top-tier marking bands, you have absolutely logged into the right server. Today, we're acting as your guild master to crack the code on one of the most notoriously misunderstood high-level dungeons in the Cambridge AS-level Afrikaans language 8679 syllabus. We are talking about the media, specifically the role, influence, and power of advertising. Now, on the surface, this sector of the map looks pretty straightforward, right? We all see ads every day. But when you look at the official loot drops, the actual examiner data, it tells a completely different story. Most players wipe on this level. So we're going to treat the official Cambridge syllabus like a legendary world map full of hidden treasures, and we are going to unlock the exact pathways you need to secure maximum marks. Let's boot up the simulation and dive in. Here is your quest board for today's raid. We'll start by disarming the media assessment trap, lock in the core advertising principles, execute the method mark strategy, dodge the top 3 examiner warnings, level up our critical analysis, and wrap up with a final exam checklist.
Opening up Sector 1, the media assessment trap. Let's talk about the illusion of ease.
Okay, let's dive into this massive stumbling block. Examiners report year after year that candidates absolutely freeze when they're hit with an unfamiliar advertising context. Why? It's a debuff I like to call the illusion of ease. Because you see media and ads on your feed every single day, you walk into the exam thinking you're already an expert. To really picture why this fails, imagine 2 players in our guild. We'll call them Player 1 Alex and Player 2 Sam. Alex is your classic over-encumbered warrior. Alex walks into the exam carrying way too much inventory weight, just backpacks full of raw facts, descriptive definitions, and trivia about Afrikaans media. But Alex lacks agility. There's no high-level analysis. Then you have Sam. Sam is a high-speed rogue. Sam dashes through the reading sections way too quickly, relying entirely on personal, everyday experiences with advertising and completely skips the mandatory puzzle requirements, the objective academic analysis the syllabus actually demands. Neither playstyle works here. You have to separate your personal scrolling habits from the rigid academic framework the examiners are testing. If you just dump your personal opinions on the page, your mark yield is going to hit 0.
Moving into Sector 2, core advertising principles. Time to decode the elder map. Right, here is where we encounter the dungeon boss prompt. The most common mistake candidates make, especially our warrior Alex, is relying on superficial breadth. That means just listing out a massive array of broad facts about an ad campaign to see what sticks. But the Cambridge assessment framework doesn't reward spamming basic attacks. It strictly demands analytical depth. Examiners want to see you take fundamental theoretical principles and successfully transfer them to a completely unfamiliar novel context. It is all about a deep connected understanding of the mechanics. Now, how do you do that? You have to read the command word runes. This is where our rogue Sam usually sets off a trap. There is a massive difference between a rune that says ontleed, analyze, and one that says evaluer, evaluate, or verduidelijk, explain, versus tot watermate, to what extent. If the prompt asks you to evaluate the effectiveness of an Afrikaans radio ad, and you just explain what happens in the ad, you have misread the rune. You trigger an immediate trap, your stamina bar drains, and your top-tier mark potential is instantly locked out. You have to match your analytical depth to the exact command word on the map.
Accessing Sector 3, the method mark strategy. This is how we secure our loot. This right here is your stamina pacing matrix. The syllabus requires systematic processing, and it follows a clear, standardized sequence of raid mechanics. Break this sequence, and you fail the quest. Step 1. Identify the key elements of the stimulus. Step 2. Apply the relevant academic principles. Step 3. Actively execute your analysis with clear, visible working. Step 4. Verify your results for reasonableness. And Step 5. Present your answer in the appropriate format. We call this the method mark strategy because examiners actively award marks for clearly showing this exact process. Even if your final conclusion at the end of the text block is slightly off, if the examiner can see your logic trail, you are banking incremental loot, method marks, all along the way. You have to prove your mental math on the page.
Remember, at its core, this topic is a massive data interpretation puzzle. You cannot guess. Picture Alex and Sam sitting at the co-op cognitive raid table right now, staring at a blank paragraph, arguing over the mechanical paths of their text block structure. Alex is slamming his fist down, saying, "We need to overload the framework with dictionary definition scrolls. Just write down what taken group means." But Sam is watching the exam stamina meter running dangerously low and says, "No, we have to pivot immediately into an analytical pathway." Extract the data, interpret it, and conclude. Sam is actually right about the pacing here. You must extract information from the provided texts, rigorously interpret the relationships between the media elements, and draw conclusions based strictly on the evidence in the stimulus. Evidence is your in-game currency. If you don't spend evidence to back up your points, your answers won't do any damage.
Entering Sector 4. Top 3 examiner warnings. Let's look at the failure logs.
Quest pause. Hold up. Before we unlock this top-end paragraph layout to help you conquer your next Cambridge exam and look at the exact traps that train your marks, make sure your guild feed is perfectly optimized. Take a second right now to subscribe to Ace the Exams. That's at Ace the Exams, and enable all notifications so you never miss our weekly strategic map drops. Whether you are traversing IGCSE, O-levels, or AS and A-level territory, we've got the blueprints you need. All right, back to the Elder Map. Now, what's really interesting about this slide is this direct quote from the grading authorities. The classic mistake is providing generic answers not specific to the question context. Always link every point to the given scenario. This means memorizing a beautiful pre-written paragraph about the power of advertising and just copy-pasting it onto your exam paper is a critical failure. Context is absolutely everything.
When we unpack the principal examiner reports, we find an unexpected puzzle roadblock mid-paragraph where student evidence links just completely drop. Here are the top 3 specific traps. Number 1, confusing cause and effect. Number 2, forgetting format and presentation, like using the wrong layout for a required text type. And number 3, which we just hammered home, relying on generic answers that lack specific context. If you hit any of these, you are threatened with a total quest failure. We need to set up a tactical structural blueprint to bridge these points flawlessly. So the absolutely crucial point here is nailing the precise difference between cause and effect. Think of this in game terms. The cause is the spell you're casting. It is the strategic design, the specific Afrikaans phrasing, the lighting, the imagery of the media campaign itself. It's the catalyst. The effect is the damage or the buff on the target. It's the resulting influence on the audience. How does it change their perception? Does it make them want to buy the product? If you mix up the tool being used with the result it creates, your entire analytical framework collapses. To fix this, you have to use the peel structure when writing your text block line by line. Point, evidence, explain, link. State your point about the cause, drop your textual evidence, explain the psychological effect on the audience, and link it right back to the command word room in the prompt. Keep cause and effect strictly distinct.
Okay, quick mid-quest memory challenge for you. To remember these pitfalls and the methodology on exam day, you need an inventory item you can deploy instantly. Create a mnemonic using the first letters of the key terms we just covered. C for cause, F for format, C for context, E for extract, I for interpret, C for conclude. Pause the simulation for a second, come up with a catchy phrase, and lock it in. Having that mental trigger ready will save you massive amounts of stamina when the exam clock is ticking down.
Booting up Sector 5. Critical analysis and evaluation. Time to hit the high-tier bands.
All right, I am handing control of the simulation over to you for a live diagnostic check in our interactive viewer raid world. To hit those elite marks, you need the deconstruct, solve, evaluate cycle. Imagine Challenge 1, the visual radar sweep. I project a highly complex Afrikaans case study about a new digital marketing campaign on your screen right now. You have a 60-second visual countdown timer running. You need to identify the given information and break it into logical steps before the grid resets. What is the target demographic? What is the core message? Then we move to Challenge 2, spot the defective item. Imagine a medium-tier sample student paragraph that says, the ad uses bright colors so everyone will buy the product. Do you spot the defective logic? As the guildmaster, I'm taking my digital pointer and isolating that flaw right now. It lacks a check for reasonableness. Just because colors are bright doesn't guarantee universal sales. You have to assess the quality of the evidence. You must identify limitations in the text, note assumptions made by the advertiser, and make justified, nuanced recommendations. That is how you clear the board.
And here is the ultimate hidden buff. Referencing cross-topic connections yields significantly higher marks. The official syllabus architecture rests on integration. If you can link the mechanics of advertising back to other syllabus areas, like language variation, societal structures, or linguistics in the Afrikaans language, your mark yield multiplies. Don't treat the media module as an isolated side quest. Show the examiner you have mapped out the entire linguistic landscape.
Reaching Sector 6, the final exam checklist. Let's look at the victory screen.
Our co-op players, Alex and Sam, have finally balanced their stats, compiled a full mark quest, and the final loot drop breakdown is showing maximum marks. Let's distill this entire simulation into 3 universal rules for your own expedition. Rule 1. Practice past paper questions to train your pre-quest question scan, decode those command words accurately. Rule 2. Apply the method mark strategy, which is your stamina pacing matrix, ensuring you earn incremental points for your logical sequence. And Rule 3. Always master the specific context of the prompt. This is your post-quest review checklist. Never rely on generic, pre-memorized answers.
Now that we have successfully decoded the media and advertising dungeon, the map is wide open. Which Cambridge AS level Afrikaans language topic are you preparing to conquer next? Drop a comment below sharing exactly which Cambridge subject and level, IGCS, O, A, or A level, you were targeting. And remember, subscribe to ACE Exams, click that notification bell for our weekly Level Up Masterclasses, and keep your stamina high. See you in the next explainer.